but sort of an odd way to do it.
Yeah. The brake pedal was pretty much non-functional.
Pretty awful, to be honest. Either that or the apprentice had a really bad day.
He might have got fired after that, too.
We got a call from a woman whose late husband had a 1960 Maserati 3500 GT, a car that had been parked in their garage since the early 1990s. After a cursory inspection, it was clear this car could be brought back to drivable condition with a reasonable amount of effort. So Amy and I purchased the Maserati and brought it to Vintage Underground Restorations in Eugene, Oregon, where we have started the process of uncovering what 35 years of storage has done and what it will take to bring this beautiful Italian Grand Tourer back to life. Join us as we continue our journey alongside Vintage Underground's team of skilled technicians and craftsmen as we return this particularly special automobile, forgotten for decades, back to its former glory. So we're here at Vintage Underground with our 1960 Maserati 3500 GT, and it's time to kind of start going through and figuring out what we need to do to get this car back on the road after 35 years that it's been sitting essentially in storage. Bill Ryan is our mechanical shop manager here at Vintage Underground, and he's been going over the car, kind of building a list of what we need to pay attention to, and we're going to spend some time kind of walking around and figuring out what needs to happen and figure out a path forward. So,
Start with, we don't have an engine in it, so I can't do a compression test, but that would have been a really good thing to start out with.
Yeah.
Most of the things up here that I see that need to be replaced are the hoses, soft parts.
Yep.
Some of the electrical functions I can't test because we don't have any electrical power on this right now. The horn is only partially there. That would have been nice to have tested.
Yeah, we just have the pump for the air horns.
Yeah, we just have the electrical pump.
Yeah.
The steering box seems pretty tight. Most of the steering looks pretty good. The brake fluid needs to be replaced. We'll have to replace most of the brake system anyway, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to fix that. There are a couple of small electrical issues, some broken wires that I found up here on the top in the engine compartment that's going to need to be taken care of.
Yeah. And we'll see what else comes up. But
some air ducting that's probably going to have to be replaced before we can get it back on the road. Yeah. I don't know if you can see the transmission is held in there with rope.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
It's kind of a safety issue. We might just cut that out of there and lower that down before we do too much.
I mean, and to be honest, at this point, it may make sense to pull the transmission out while we're getting everything else prepped until the engine's ready anyway.
Right.
That way we can put it on the run stand. And
it's kind of what I was thinking to take it out. It looks like it might be leaking a little bit somewhere also.
Yeah, it's a bit wet at the bottom there.
So maybe doing the transmission now versus later might be a good idea.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, there's not much in here right now, so there's not as much to go over, but I mean, it looks like the painted surfaces look pretty good. A lot of the bits and pieces are still here. We've got the brake booster here that we'll probably need to go through. Vacuum reservoir, but yeah, probably all the hoses have been sitting long enough that we would probably want to replace them. So yeah, shall we get underneath the car and just go and lift it up, start looking underneath.
Do we want to look at some of the side stuff too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'll go up a little ways. The windshield, there's a scratch or a scuff there. I don't know if that could be cleaned or buttons polished out.
Looks like it's possibly from the wiper coming across. Mirror's loose.
Mirror's pretty loose.
Just kind of a standard bullet mirror, but yeah.
This door has kind of a closing issue.
Oh,
really want to.
Not latching.
There's a spare tire in here, and the jack looks really nice.
Oh yeah. So we have two jacks. We've got one that I know came with the parts of the car, and then we have, it looks like, another also painted the right original color and everything. But yeah, not too bad.
Pretty sure the car, I don't know what that was. We found that in the trunk too. Heater vent cover inside or something?
Maybe, that's modern material. So yeah, so we'll have, I bet that's what that is. I bet that the heater outlets go through that. Let's see, here, I'm gonna slip by.
It doesn't look like the the heater core kind of lines
No,
up.
the heater
with
core
them.
doesn't line up with that, so I don't know what that is.
That's kind of what I thought too.
I mean, that would have been my first guess,
kind of a
but
cover.
we will see if we figure out where that goes, or if
Maybe.
it even goes to this car.
Maybe it goes to another car.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much all I saw on the outside of the car. There's some scratches in the paint that
Yep.
could probably be buffed out.
Yeah, we can talk to Justin about that. Okay.
It's in really good condition.
Yeah.
I think once its car's clean, it's gonna
Yeah.
look really nice.
Okay. And going up. Okay.
Now the tires, I believe, are 1992. So we're probably going to want to replace those.
Those are going to have to be replaced. Fortunately, they're available, and even in the Pirelli Cinturato, these are the CN72s, I think. But yeah, we should be able to get those.
The shocks look new, but they've probably been sitting for 30 years on the car also.
But they are Konis, so they are good adjustable shocks. There's maybe a little bit of leakage around the steering box or something. There's a tiny bit of oil there, but not much.
Up here.
Yeah.
maybe.
So we might look at what we need to do as far as resealing that.
The upper shock bushings are severely cracked, as well as the upper control arm bushings are also severely cracked. We're missing some.
Yeah, and this rubber is really hard and starting to fall apart. We should probably look at all suspension rubber and see what's available and do what we can.
It's like a lot of stuff is available for this car when just looking at it.
Fortunately.
One thing I did notice, I don't know if we can see in here, it looks like maybe there was some frame repair.
Yeah. Let's get a light.
It looks like it's been re-welded, some not very good repairs.
Yeah, right around the steering box.
All right, I don't know if
I wonder if
that's,
the steering box mount cracked or something at some point.
I don't know if that's original or not. It doesn't look the same as it does over here.
Yeah, the other side is beautiful welds in kind of the same area. No weld at all in this seam here, while on the other side it's just goobered up. Pretty awful, to be honest. And it's sort of goobered up into the spring bucket and everything. So yeah, there's definitely been some work done there at some point. But it's nowhere near as nice as the rest of the welding on the car. Right. So either that or the apprentice had a really bad day.
He might have got fired after that too. So all these bushings are pretty wore out, hard, cracked.
Yeah.
Probably every bushing on the car is going to need to be replaced.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair amount of work, but it's doable. Probably the same thing with all of the boots, at least on the tie rod ends and things like that. All the steering linkage. We've got these brake hoses and things, and these are definitely old brake hoses. So they're DOT hoses, so they're done in the US, but that is from 1979, I believe. Looks like it has a date code on it, so that definitely needs to be replaced.
Oh, transmission leak.
Yeah. Yeah, transmission's pretty oily.
I don't think the transmission mount is original either.
Not the rope, certainly.
Not the rope. All the lines and everything, all the rubber fuel lines
The brake lines, absolutely.
look like they've been replaced, but they're now probably 30 years old,
Yeah.
and those don't look original to me.
Yeah, that's definitely been replaced. That's American SAE stuff and modern, quote, modern clamps. So this is our fuel tank. And there we've got a modern SAE hose. So that's a US market hose that almost certainly got done at some point. So yeah, so our fuel pump back here is your typical cylindrical facet, sort of typical Italian fuel pump. So I'm happy it's an electric pump. I like electric pumps. They make it usually easier to start the car. There's also a fuel filter built in here. So of course we're going to change the fuel filter, and hopefully the pump still works, but if not, we can replace it. Fortunately, they're readily available.
Probably not cheap.
Not too cheap, probably about a $250, $300 pump, something like that.
The rear differential has a leak. It looks like it's just the fill plug,
Yeah, that might be pretty easy.
and that might be pretty easy. You gotta probably change the fluid anyway.
And that is a Dana Salisbury. That is a Dana 44, essentially. So that'll be fairly easy to get seals and things for. I mean, the nice thing is that they're buying a lot of the stuff from Britain, and so that shouldn't be too bad.
We will probably want to take the gas tank out.
Yep. Oh boy, definitely some corrosion or something going on.
Yeah, there's some.
And we need to clean the old gas out of it anyway. We'll coat it. But yeah, we'll definitely want to pull the gas tank.
And there's, I don't know what this, some kind of a track rod
Yeah.
here that's, the bushings are
Also coming apart.
very hard and
very
cracked, very brittle.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if when they restored the car previously, they didn't touch any of this. So, but it's now sat another 35 years. And so it desperately needs to be done.
The leaf springs look pretty good.
They've got packing pieces between.
I don't know if you want to replace those or not.
Not necessarily, I think. I mean, there's not necessarily a reason to tear it apart, I think. At least to recommission it. As long as none of the leaves are broken or anything, we can probably let that be.
Brake shoes have a little bit of oil on them. They look like they're pretty good condition still.
Yeah.
They're definitely not new. See how much
Yeah.
it's wore on this side and not on that side.
Yeah. And it's rear drums, actually. Later versions of this car, in 61 and on, I think were discs all around. And so they had rear discs as well, but still girling. So it should be all inch sizes and fairly straightforward to get parts for.
We'll probably want to replace the brakes on it.
Definitely, we'll redo the brakes. And we'll need to rebuild the front brakes and all that as well. I'd like to probably think about lining the cylinders rather than necessarily just outright replacing them.
They last longer that way?
They last longer. We don't have to worry as much about rust in the future. I mean, we'll still change brake fluid regularly, but it'll make it a little bit less critical to the long life of the car.
The steel brake lines, you want to replace those? Maybe they're corroded inside, or?
Yeah, it may not be a bad idea to look at. Definitely all the hoses, but we'll look at the lines themselves as well. There's been a lot of undercoating under here. A lot of this is probably original, but definitely not nice looking.
To hide rust?
Well, I don't know that it would have been done to hide rust. A lot of it was, I think, factory.
You think these brake lines are original brake lines, or somebody bent these? Because they look kind of
It's kind of
like bent.
I mean, they're hand-built cars, so it's possible that that's the way that they did it. But at the same time, and it has the same coating as the rest of the underside. So they might be original, including like the screw heads and everything. So I would not be surprised if they're original, but that's actually a reason why we might want to pointedly replace them. This is kind of interesting. So that's our handbrake cable. Normally that lead weight would have been in here and that would have been your attachment. And it looks like they fed it through and then twisted another wire around it. I'll probably want to think about looking at that, redoing that.
The brake pedal was pretty much non-functional. I don't know if I can reach it from up here.
Would it move at all, or?
Yeah, we just kind of flop around. I didn't get into it too much. Let's see exactly.
That's our gas pedal.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting, the little vinyl boot. And it's possible this has been recoated underneath because I'm seeing sort of a transition point right here where it's blacker here and lighter here.
One advantage of having the transmission engine out of it is you can look up underneath the dash and you can see all the wires in the back of the gauges
yes.
and look at the condition. Everything looks really good up there.
That looks all really original, which is fantastic. The flasher's been replaced, but that's not that big a deal. That's pretty typical at this point in time in the life of a car. But the fuse box is still there, still has its little plastic cover over it. Looks really good.
There's a lot of mouse droppings inside the car, so I didn't have to crawl around underneath the car to look underneath the dash. I could just stand under the car and look up underneath the dash, which was a plus, bonus.
And we'll get all that cleared out, definitely. I mean, once we figure out sort of where we're going with this, we can start doing what little disassembly we need to do right now and then clean the car up a bit, protect it, get it ready to actually continue going forward. Front calipers are girdling type calipers, so we should be able to get pistons and things for those, I think, and they should be pretty easy to rebuild at that point. I mean, they're painted black. I wonder if that's the original. We'll have to maybe do some research and see if they should be black. We can paint them black again. If they should be plated, we can plate them. But otherwise, a lot of material left on these brake shoes.
What do you think about the
Brake pads.
splines on the knockoff hubs? They look pretty good to me.
They do. And as long as our wheels look good, I'm not sure. If they don't clunk, I think we're okay. So
So I have the radiator over here. It was in the trunk.
Yep.
Do we want to send the radiator?
We should at least pressure test it probably, and it probably makes sense to probably clean them out and clean them up since they're out of the car anyway. And that's our heater core, so.
Send them out, get them pressure tested.
Yep, make sure they're good, and
flow tested.
If we need to, we'll recore them or replace them, but probably recore them, preferably recore them.
And then there's also, I have the starter, generator.
Yeah.
I don't know where the starter went. Here's the generator. It's probably back there. Do you want to send these out and get these tested also?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to put them on without testing them at this point. If we can, just make sure they're good, and if we need to rebuild them, we'll rebuild them.
And
see how it goes.
Here's the rest of the horn.
Yep.
I try to do that.
Yeah. They probably work. They usually hold up pretty well as long as they haven't gotten too corroded. So, but we'll see. As long as the pump works, that's actually the bit that I'm a bit more concerned about.
I have not checked the driveline to see. Driveline looks pretty good. They're pretty tight joints. Yep. They move nicely. Don't flop around a lot.
Yeah.
And no binding.
I don't think they marked it when they pulled it out, so hopefully we can get it back in a nice, balanced, happy position, but it shouldn't be too bad. Exhaust, how does that look? That looks like a original type exhaust, to be honest.
You know, those original hangers, or would they be more like Ferrari with the rubber?
I'm not sure. They may be original hangers. It's kind of an interesting system because it's got mufflers tucked up under the inner fender here. Two mufflers basically together, two pipes coming in, but then it combines at the back through another little tiny muffler to a single exit.
So this is hard mounted here. That doesn't look right, where it's hard mounted to the body.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be. Although it might be with it being so close to the bodywork to make sure it's not hitting. Although it may have hit at some point. There's a dent here and...
Yeah, it's hard mounted here too.
Yep.
It isn't.
But we've got flex joints here, so that allows the engine at least to move. So yeah, that's interesting. I will probably look and see if I can turn up a parts book or something for this car, because that would help a lot with
determining whether that's right or not.
Exactly. Because if they don't have parts for rubber mountings, then there probably aren't rubber mountings. But either way, it looks like a correct exhaust. It fits pretty well. And I don't see any obvious like rust holes or anything. So we'll probably try and run it as is and see what happens.
You want to dip the fuel tank, get it dipped? Or
I'm thinking probably we'll dip the fuel tank. That way we can get everything out of it. We know exactly what we have. And then we can coat it on the inside and paint it. And then it should last forever. Okay, so at this point, we'll probably move forward, pull the brakes, pull the brake booster, the master cylinders and everything, and clean it up. So us exhuming this 1960 Maserati 3500 GT is really only the start of the process. This car sat so long that a lot of things really need to be addressed. We're going to be going over that with Vintage Underground Restorations. They are really a premier location to do cars like this. They focus on European cars, primarily Italian and British, and they do everything from the very beginning of the process all the way through paint, body, upholstery, mechanical, everything that they need to do to basically get a car from the roughest state to a fully restored car. This is a small project for them because we aren't looking at doing a full restoration here, but there are going to be elements that we're going to be tying into almost every service of what they have as we go over and evaluate this car to get it back on the road. Follow along as we go through that process. We're going to be working with them exclusively on this. You'll have a little bit of content from them, you'll have some content from us, but the main goal here is really to have this out there as what does it take to take a car that's been sitting for 35 years, bring it back to life, and get it back on the road.
We are really excited to have you come along with us on this journey from the very start. We've had a lot of comments asking about what does it take to restore a car? How do you pick a car? What does it take to add a car to the collection? We hope this will answer some of those questions. If you want to know more about our car collection, definitely check out HauglandCollection.com. and our YouTube, Everyday to Exotic, links in the description.
And if you want to know more about Vintage Underground Restorations, based out of Eugene, Oregon, check out vintageunderground.com and follow their YouTube as well. Links are in this description as well. Thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing where this car takes us next. So, come along for the journey. With that, bye! Okay, that worked.
Does that work? Okay.